Good day. My name is Scott Egan, and I'm going to talk a little bit this morning about the spirit of apostolic farming. I have worked and lived and prayed and grown on our farm for almost 30 years. So I feel like I might have something to say about this. Most of you have visited our farm or have worked on it, but just a little touch of the physical aspect of it. You all know that we have kind of an old-fashioned farm with a small dairy herd and a small beef herd. And of course from the dairy we derive milk to drink and cheese and yogurt. And then we harvest meat from our beef herd. We have a small sheep flock of 23 sheep, and from those we get wool and meat. And a fairly large laying flock. There are about 220 of them, so as you know, we eat a fair number of eggs here. We have 7 acres of gardens and a large herb garden, and from those we produce all of our root crops and most of the produce that we eat. And we have about 80 acres of pasture, 120 acres in which we cut hay, and we have several hundred acres of forest. And as you all know, we heat and we cook with a lot of firewood. So that's the physical nature of our farm. But what is the spirit of apostolic farming? Well, as you all know, Catherine Doherty put into this little pamphlet called Apostolic Farming, which, by the way, is available
Catherine coined that phrase, and she says to us, I'm an apostle, you're an apostle. We're meant to be sent out to preach the gospel, not so much with our words, but the way we live, the way we work, the way we pray. And she includes that in the little pamphlet, Apostolic Farming. So we've been trying to live that for 60 years. And it's challenging, but it gives us like a little Bible, like a little framework to try to guide our actions and our thoughts and our, the way we farm.
We're getting this peat ready for our new blueberry plantation, which we're going to plant next spring. This is a lot of work, but the shrubs should last 50 years. We should gather blueberries. We try to observe the rules that were put in by God. The earth is living. It's a living organism. God has established rules for growing, for all of creation.
It's the idea of the little things done well that I'm attracted to in Catherine Doherty's philosophy. And I think Catherine had this vision of producing off the land and trying to be as independent as possible of the outside so that we can be a self-sustaining community. She was very ecological before her time, and she also had a strong emphasis on using every bit of resource efficiently.
From the first time I read Apostolic Farming, I said, yes, that resonates rather. But if I had to condense it down to just a word or two, I would call it stewardship. Stewardship of the land, and stewardship of resources, good and proper use of our resources.
From what I know about Catherine and from what reading I've done, it's a peaceful way to grow food. Yeah, it's peaceful, simple. It is spiritual because I'm praying, you're living where you work, and it's just a flowing life.
During my formation as a priest, there was what we used to call in Quebec la ferme du séminaire, the farm of the seminary. It went all the way back to Bishop de Laval, François de Laval, first bishop of Quebec. In his vision for the needs of the new country, its development, he had a farm. So it stayed with me to the point that when I came here, it was as simple as this gift of realizing that this vision of Catherine and those words apostolic farming, to be united with God and serving on the farm, was possible, and you can do it simply.
Catherine always encouraged us to be not only simple, but to be poor and live in wonder. And I think that's something that has been a tremendous gift for me in our life here.
Catherine, when she speaks, she always keeps her eyes on the Lord. That Madonna House life flows from there all the time. We are not in Bethlehem, we are St. Benedict Acre, but she sees him being born in our hearts right now. This is what Madonna House sees.
To be able to be struck by the wonder of God's order, of creation, of putting your hand on the back of a horse, and not only feeling the life and the warmth there, but knowing that you can work with this animal and till the garden or pull a log out of the forest. There's wonder there.
We believe that all work is holy, and Catherine reinforced that in us. And it also comes from the Benedictine motto, Ora et Labora, which means always praying and working together, the unity of those two. Now, when you farm or when you work with the earth, things are out of control a lot of the time. You have the weather, you have animals, you have all sorts of things. And so you're always facing the possibility of failure. And what do you do in the face of failure? You pray and you persevere.